Hi, I'm going to be talking today about when we lose a lifeline. And right now, in this season of time in our world, we are experiencing in humanity change. A lot of shifts are happening and a lot of losses. So, I wanted to talk today about lifelines and what happens when we lose something and it's not just a loss, it is a lifeline. And there is a difference because when we lose something and it's not a lifeline, there's grief, but we are able to process and move through it. And it's hard, but we continue on with our lives. When something is a lifeline, and that could be a person or a situation or a job, career, friendship, could be anything, and it's a lifeline, we have the sensation and desire to actually die because we can't imagine going on in life without this person or this situation continuing on. And I want to talk about how we can recognize when things are lifelines before we lose them, because it's important for us to recognize these things and these people and to have a healthy detachment so that when things do change and shift, which everything will eventually, we can continue on with life. One of the ways that you can prevent getting to the place of experiencing this devastation is to really become and work on your relationship with yourself. And many of us will run and we will hide and we will try to distract ourselves from past trauma, pain, or uncomfortable emotions. I have been the queen of this. I'm not sure if you know Enneagram. I am Enneagram 7, wing 8, and 7s are notorious for imagining a world of pure bliss and happiness and pie in the sky, everything spinning to positive. And it wasn't until probably my early 30s that I finally started working on sitting in difficult emotions and processing through them. And this is very essential to becoming whole. And when you're able to become whole and integrate your whole self, and this, a lot of people call this the shadow work, and I can do another video on this as well, then you do not look to other people or things or situations as that lifeline. You can sit and you can be whole. And then the other piece that is really important is to heal that relationship you have with God, because your spiritual part of you is where that source of eternal lifeline and light is really necessary, because the matrix and then the unseen realm, the spiritual realm, is more real than the physical. And this is when people talk about energy and all the things. We can do another video on that as well. So lifeline, when it is cut, when you lose that person or that thing and you're spinning, these are some steps you can take to help you recover and get your footing. First of all, recognize that you looked to this person or this situation too much. And it's really important that we are careful about doing this, because nothing is certain or guaranteed in this life. The only thing that is certain and guaranteed is God. And He says that He is unchanging. His love never leaves us. He is for us. And so that is the only thing that's not changing. Everything else shifts and changes. So it's important to have the wisdom to understand that we need to have open hands to receive and to be willing to let go when things leave. So write down what it is that was the lifeline that you lost and how you were looking to that lifeline in ways that was putting too much emphasis on that particular situation or person, that now that it's gone, you recognize that that is still with you. So if you think that no one else will treat you that way, that's not true. So you can write down people in your life that have treated you that way, and that do you treat yourself that way? And then just write down the things that you lost from that situation, from that relationship. And then it's important to process the emotions, to process the grief. But the reality is that the shifting ground, we need to get on a place of rock. And the place of rock that is not shifting is the relationship you have with yourself and your own well-being and your body, soul, mind, spirit, in your relationship with God. So you can write down what is true and how you can move forward. And a lot of times this has to do with self-care and changing lies with truth. So I have nothing to live for anymore is a lie. Then write down what you do have to live for. What's important about your life? Who loves you? What positive things are going on in your life right now? And then it's just a gradual progress of becoming healthy. And a lot of times we will trade our well-being or sacrifice our well-being for these lifelines. So for example, if your lifeline is your career and that is your world, and that is where you're getting a source of well-being, confidence, I'm important, I have value, and then it gets cut, what did you sacrifice for that? Did you sacrifice your health, your time, your energy? So a lot of times these lifelines, we do sacrifice our well-being. So take a look and scan your life. Where are you sacrificing your well-being for a lifeline? And then where do you want your lifeline to be? You can shift this. And again, I will emphasize, the only lifeline that doesn't change, that will not let you down, that will be there is God. He's the only one that will not ever leave you, that will never stop loving you. People will let us down. I don't think anyone has not disappointed you at some point or another, even yourself. And so the relationship you have with yourself, work on the relationship you have with God, and then get re-grounded in those things and self-care, and one day at a time. And so hopefully this is helpful in recognizing loss is different than losing a lifeline. And then also to evaluate, where are you sacrificing your well-being in exchange for something else? And we don't want to look to people, experiences, or find our identity in things outside of God or ourselves, because those things will change. So it's important to find your identity in the center and core of who you are as a child of God who loves you. That should be the central piece, and to know that it's not something you have to earn or to perform for. So another last piece that will be really helpful is to write down some just practical things you can do to help you care for your heart, and specifically walks, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, journaling, and then also just sitting in a very peaceful, quiet place for your nervous system to recognize that you are safe. So I am a life coach, and my website is jessicacaris.com. I will leave it down below. And if you would like a coaching session, you can sign up for that. And hopefully this was really helpful in just encouraging you to keep moving one step in front of the other through all this energy going on right now and shifts taking place in all of our lives, it's an opportunity for growth. But growth can be really challenging and really hard, but you can do this. You've been through harder things, just one step in front of another, and make sure that you continually check yourself and make sure you're in reality. You have a purpose here. There is a reason you're here, and it's very, very important. Have a wonderful rest of your day.